What is up, everybody? Welcome to this week's episode of the Dense Pixels Podcast. I'm your host, Brad, joined by my co-host, Micah.
Hey.
So, no Terrence again this week, and those of you in our fan group might know, actually, not everyone in the fan group might know this. Those that are friends of Terrence outside of the fan group might know this. We might not have Terrence for a little bit. Unfortunately, his laptop was stolen from him.
Yeah.
And makes it more difficult to record. We're seeing what we can do to get him back in the game sooner. But for the time being, it might just be me and Mr. Micah over here. And I will tell you, this week's show is fucking loaded.
Yeah.
Jam-packed news show.
Happy MLK Day for your this fully loaded docket brought to you by the dreams of one man having racial harmony and the reality of the failure.
So we do have a 5-star review, though. We're going to skip what we've been playing because there's too much news, but we do have a 5-star review. This is from, and I lost it that quickly because I am horrible. For some reason, I didn't copy the part that had the username. Adamant567 says another podcast review, and he says, "This is a really great show. I love hearing about video games from people that are really good at video games. Personally, I like puzzle games, but hearing about high-level play and fighting video games is very fascinating to me. If anything, it might interest me in buying more aggressive video games. I want to send a big shout-out to the fan group that will not criticize you for the types of video games that you like and play. Also, I love the personalities of the show. It grabs you. Love Dense Pixels."
Thank you, Adam.
Very good, yes. Thank you for the 5-star review. I don't know if we get to talk about high-level play.
No, we don't. Terrence does. And look, if we're being honest, like Terrence just like it's one of those things where it's like those who can do and those who can't teach. Like Terrence is very high level on very, very specific games. Where it's like he won't even touch other fighting games. I guess we need to talk about more puzzle games too. I like puzzle games. There are specific, types of puzzles that I like, and I get frustrated really, really quickly. So that's why you don't see me talk about too many of them.
My cat's trying to break out of the studio. Hilarious.
Cats.
my wife lets him in, and then like as soon as he gets in, he's banging to get out.
It was like, fuck this. This guy's fucking jibber jabbering for another hour and a half. He's not going to pay attention to me.
No, that's certainly not. Before we get into the meat and potatoes of it, just real quick, don't forget, sign up for premium content. Look, this week is a hell of a week to sign up for premium content because you're going to get a new episode of No Time to Bleed that will leave you on edge, undoubtedly. You're going to get a just bonkers episode of Look Forward. For sure. That I'm going to be on, by the way. So we're recording it after this. So I'm doing like 4 hours of podcasting today.
Like a real radio DJ.
I know, right? I'm like Alex Jones, basically, like doing my info doing my info words for the day. You get I feel like I know you guys are recording airing grievances this week. I'd imagine at least one will come out.
Yeah, one will come out this week, and then 2 weeks later, another one will come out. We're gonna try and bank a few of them since I'm on a little mini vacation. So we're gonna bank a few of them, and we're in season 6, and season 6 is really, really great.
Yep, and then we're also recording the next month with Golden Tongues. We're doing Skyfall again later this week, and I'll probably put that on the weekend. Most likely, so you guys will have some weekend listening. So again, great week to sign up. It's just $5 a month, $50 a year to sign up for premium content. So go to densepixels.com/premium if you've not done so. Plus, you get the whole back catalog. It's a hell of a deal. It's a hell of a deal. Make sure you go to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/densepixels. If you've not subscribed to the show yet, you can do that there. Please hit the red subscribe button. We'll be uploading new clips of this podcast episode every single week on the YouTube channel. So they're nice, digestible, bite-sized clips to share with your friends and get them to listen to this wonderful podcast as well. Plus, we post this whole episode in video format as well on there. And then, of course, if you use Spotify for your podcast, you're a monster. But our show is on there as well, along with all the other TMP Studios shows. I don't know anyone that personally uses Spotify for podcasts, but there has to be at least one of you. So we're there too. We're just making it convenient for you. That's how we roll. So new releases this week. The long-awaited, finally Street Fighter V is getting its actual release. Finally, 2 years, almost 2 years later.
Almost 2 years to the day, to the month.
Seriously. The Street Fighter V Arcade Edition is coming to PlayStation 4 and PC. If you already own Street Fighter V, you're going to get the feature updates for free. You don't have to buy anything extra. But if you don't own Street Fighter V, if you get this set, which is $40, then you get the game. You get both the first 2 seasons, season passes as well. So you get the 12 extra characters that they put out for seasons 1 and seasons 2. Arcade mode getting added. All sorts of shit. There's a whole lot of features that are getting added to the game.
You also get to try out Sakura for a week for free.
Yes, you do. Without having to invest in the season 3 character pass.
Yep.
Well, and then for Carrie, and only for Carrie, Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth Hacker's Memory coming to PlayStation 4 on Friday this week as well. I'm sure she's very excited.
Digimon, they're still making those things.
Still around.
Wow.
Not felled by Pokemon yet. Maybe. Digital side, Space Hulk Ascension came out last week for the Xbox One. They posted last week's update this week. Does that make sense? This week you are getting a lot of Xbox One games. There's only one game of note on PS4. It's a game called Rento Fortune. Do not play this game. They basically made a Wheel of Fortune Monopoly like mashup game for PS4.
Huh.
It looks awful. Do not play it. On Xbox One, there's actually a few new games coming out. 2064 Read-Only Memories. This made a big splash on PC when it first released. Full Metal Furies, the latest game from the makers of Rogue Legacy. And then Mutant Football League, not to be confused with Mutant League Football, but Mutant Football League, also releasing on Xbox One. And then your release date / new game announcements. There's a Pikachu-themed 2DS XL system coming out on January the 26th. Speaking of Pikachu, Detective Pikachu getting a Western release. So there's also a giant Detective Pikachu amiibo that's releasing alongside of it on March 23rd for the 3DS. Assassin's Creed Rogue is coming out in a remastered version in March for PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, the forgotten Assassin's Creed game. Yeah. And then there is a Dark Souls Deluxe Trilogy box set that is currently only available in Japan and currently PS4 exclusive. That's coming out May 24th for the low price of $450.
No. It's Dark Souls. Like, I understand people like Dark Souls and all that, but it's 3 games. It's a 6-disc soundtrack, a couple of bookends, a book, some art. This doesn't even seem like, with all the stuff in here, it doesn't seem like it's worth $450.
Yeah, I would agree with you.
I mean, come on, man. Like, are those bookcases made of granite? Or are they made of the plastic that they look like? Like, I mean, I guess for the hardest of hardcore Dark Souls fans.
I mean, you got to be like a hardcore Dark Souls fan to be like, I'm about to spend 50,000 yen.
About to spend half a grip on this, man.
Half a grip. I'm still not convinced you didn't make up that term 2 weeks ago. Not convinced. I got to tell you. So let's move it on into headlines. So last week, Christopher Barrett, the Destiny live director, the director of the live team who puts out all the updates and shit, put out a huge development update, detailing changes, clarifying some things for fans. I gotta tell you, Micah, I am mighty satisfied with this update. Let me break it down. We're gonna run it down, then we'll give you our thoughts. The Eververse, they realized too much stuff is in Eververse. The game's leaning too hard towards that for certain items, so they are going to be putting now ghosts, sparrows, and ships formerly only found in the bright engrams from the Eververse, but now you can actually get them through different achievements, and basically through gameplay, which is nice.
Yeah.
They're providing a gameplay path to earn bright engrams, which means you don't just earn them when you level up and when you buy them with real money. There'll be other ways to earn them. So I guess the kind of quests are coming back into the game as well. And they're going to have more direct purchase options in the game. So hopefully, if you want this, if you want that emote, maybe you can just buy that emote now with real money instead of having to pull the slot machine.
Yeah.
However many times.
That makes a ton of sense. Because that was my one big thing with the Eververse. Like if I saw something that I wanted and I didn't have bright dust, I couldn't buy it specifically. I had to buy an engram and hope to the RNG that I would get what I want. And I remember they tried to fix it so that, okay, well, there's a higher likelihood that you won't get doubles for the engrams that you buy, but this makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Crimson Days is coming back February 13th, which is a seasonal event that they do. But now they have some changes that are going to be starting with Crimson Days. Now you're going to get, when you complete the Nightfall and Raid and Crimson Days milestones, you'll get a legendary emote, weapon skin, and exotic sparrow, respectively. You get double engrams that level up during Crimson Days. One of them is a crimson engram, the other one a illuminated engram, so bright engram. Crimson engrams can also drop from completing Crimson Days match and milestones on each character. And Crimson engrams are strongly towards new rewards until all items have been attained, which is nice. So less duplicates. They're still working on the XP rate thing. The feature roadmap. Well, actually, and I should also mention too that they finally have clearly shown you what you have to access certain things. So now it's available to every Destiny 2 player. So that includes Iron Banner, faction rallies, seasonal rewards, the endgame playlist, the seasonal events that come up, and then new features and updates. And then the expansions will have new campaigns and strikes, new destinations, obviously, new rewards, the new raid layer, new crucible maps, and new gear. So very clearly defined what you get with the expansions and what you get even if you're just a vanilla player and plan to stay that way. So starting January 30th, Masterworks will be expanded. The Masterworks system will be expanded to armor, which is going to give you all Masterwork armor will give you damage reduction while you're using your super and a bonus stat boost as well to either, I'm assuming, recovery, mobility, or resilience. They are reworking raid rewards to make them more unique and more interesting. So I know a lot of folks who are big raiders are very excited about that. They're break so that's the January. In February, Nightfalls are changing probably for the better because they are getting rid of the timed element of the Nightfall strikes, and instead they're going back to strike scoring and doing high score tracking as well. So there will be community leaderboards for Nightfall strikes and things like that.
So I have a question for you.
Yes.
I can't remember what the previous Nightfalls were like, but I think you just had to beat them, right? In order to, I know there was no time limit. And in Destiny 2, they put the time limit on because people were like crushing the Nightfall.
Yeah.
They're taking the time element out of it, thank God. And they're doing strike scoring. Is strike scoring going to be tied to your success in the Nightfall? For example, do you have to attain a certain score in order to complete the Nightfall?
It doesn't seem like you do. It seems like if you want to cheese it, you'll be able to do that once again. However, I would imagine that you'll get better rewards with better scores. So I think they're still going to encourage you to go through at a regular clip, if that makes sense.
All right, so you can't just like sit back, hang back.
I mean, you could, but presumably your rewards might be not as good.
Yeah. All right.
So
I got you.
Because I'm sure time spent to beat it will be one of the scoring elements. One would imagine, right?
Yeah, you would hope so. But all right, I'm fine with that.
Yep. So mods 2.0, they are completely doing a full rework, or they're going to do a full rework of weapon and armor mods. That's probably a good thing because mods right now are just kind of so-so. Pardon me. They're looking to adjust game mode rules for quick play, to increase pace of gameplay and power ammo acquisition. They are looking to cut down even more on receiving the same exotic twice in a row, so exotic duplicate.
God.
And a small bonus in February, you'll be able to see other members of your fire team on the destination map. So if they go to another part of the same destination where you guys are, you'll be able to see them on the map, and you can catch up to them easily through that.
Very cool.
Nice quality of life upgrade. Yeah. And then in the spring, I told you this was a lot of stuff. In the spring, man, good Lord. So Crucible, they're finally adding a feature that people have been wanting for a long time. That is ranks in Crucible. So starting with season 3, there's going to be seasonal Crucible ranks. There's going to be 2 different kinds. There's Valor, which is just a progression rank that goes up as you complete matches. Winning helps you move up faster, but there are no loss penalties. And then there's Glory, which is more like, it looks like Glory is basically like an ELO score, kind of, where it's going to go up when you win and down when you lose.
Yeah.
Essentially. So the better you perform, the more glory that you will earn. People have been asking that forever. Ever since Destiny 1, people have been asking for ranks in Crucible, ranked play in Crucible. So you're finally getting that. Private matches are coming back. They're bringing back a 6v6 playlist to Crucible.
How do you feel about that?
I mean, I like 4v4. I do. It's grown on me. I'm not opposed to 6v6. They might have to rework some of those maps.
Yeah, that's my thing.
To make them work well for 6.
Yeah, like, are they going to give us bigger maps? Are they going to, I
don't know. What if they had different versions of the same maps for 6v6 specifically? Just had more square footage.
Maybe that'll work, but I feel like more square footage would just mean like expand the edges and not like where the actual battle is. Like that's a little different. Like I wonder if like on some of those smaller maps, like on like that map on Nessus and the map that was the location of the Lords of Iron or whatever the fuck that stage was. Yeah, like I wonder if you're just going to be stepping all over each other.
Well, that's the concern. We'll have to see. I'm sure they're thinking about it. Mayhem will be back as a limited time event during season 3 and going forward. A lot of people are very happy about that. And then
Mayhem is so fun.
It's dumb fun. It is very dumb fun. I enjoyed it during the dawning. And then some additional stuff. They are doing a new balance pass on exotic weapons and armor to make sure that they stand out from the rest of the gear. There's going to be a seasonal reputation ranking with each of the vendors, which will get you different rewards. Let's see here. What else we got? Playlist repetition reduction, please. Thank you. Yes. I'm tired of running the same strikes and Crucible maps back to back all the time. That's very annoying. End game player pursuits, just making the grind more worthwhile, not making for just generic stuff for bright anagram, stuff like that. The emote wheel, which people had been looking forward to as well. Vault space, they're adding 50 slots to the vault. They are also looking to do an exotic accessory tab so that your exotics won't count against your vault space limit. And you won't need to spend vault space on stuff like ships and sparrows and ghosts. Like all that stuff will have like a collection tab, I guess. That you do that way. One of the things I'm most excited about is heroic strike changes. They're going to be adding modifiers back to the heroic strikes like they had in Destiny 1, which I think makes them far more interesting to do. Yeah, for sure. And then there's a lot of stuff they said that they're looking at down the road. So like I said, this was a huge update. The community, some of the Destiny community makes me want to tear my hair out because all people could bitch about is, well, make it more like Destiny 1, make it more like Destiny 1. And then here's this big update. We're like, hey, here's a lot of stuff that was in Destiny 1 that we're bringing back. It should have been there to begin with. Call me when it's actually in there. But then these same people are like, why don't they tell us anything? Why don't they let us know what they're doing? Why don't they update us? Here you go. Okay, whatever. I'll see when it comes in.
Man, I can't be a creative man this is why Jay is very good at managing this
Mhm.
because I'm like, all right, well, maybe we should do this because I saw someone do this, and just like, no, we're not going to do that because, and he's right, right? Like you can't let your fans dictate your art. Like you have to put what you think is best out there, and if people are like we take I don't want to make it seem like he's a tyrant. We take suggestions into consideration, but like don't get mad if we don't review the movie you want us to review on black cinema. At least not yet. You know what I mean? Like don't get mad if we don't talk about what you want us to talk about, because maybe we'll get to it. Or maybe we won't. You don't run this. You ain't paying me. He ain't paying us. God damn it. So, but yeah, this is good, man. And I don't pay attention. I try to stay away from the community like that, man. The Destiny community, the internet wrestling community.
They so good. They used to be, like Destiny 1, they were like a model of a huge game with this huge community that was great, and people just bitched. I guess God forbid Bungie tried new stuff and mixing it up a little bit for Destiny 2 and trying some new things.
Bungie has lived long enough to see itself become the villain,
I guess. But yeah,
and they're not even the villain.
No, and like said, but these are good updates. Good they're listening, especially the Everward. I think people are happy that they appear to be trying to rely less heavily on that, which I think is what everybody wants. Yeah. Ultimately, like that's the biggest thing, because everyone during the dawning was just bitching about the Eververse because, of course, the whole event, most of the stuff took place through that. So I can get that. Yeah. So Major League Soccer, or MLS, as it is colloquially known, is partnering with EA Sports to create a new organization, a new eSports league for FIFA. This is supposed to be similar to what the NBA has done with the NBA 2K League. At the beginning, 19 of the 23 MLS clubs will be participants in EMLS. Basically, what will happen is each of these clubs will have a esports team around FIFA, and then they'll have a FIFA Pro that they select from that region, and they'll compete against other FIFA players. This is a little bit different than NBA because each team is only going to have one player on it, because that's all you need.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's pretty much it. There's not too many other details at this time, but
because it's called MLS, I'm assuming that this is American only teams, right?
They are North American, yes.
North American teams. Okay. Do you have because I know like Tater Tot and Hammers are your favorite like club, but they don't have a Tater. They don't have a favorite. You don't have a favorite like the Baltimore Blast or whatever it is.
Baltimore Blast, not an MLS team.
Oh, okay.
They're an arena soccer team.
Oh, okay.
It's not the same thing.
Yeah, they're the arena football league of the real soccer clubs.
They are. No, I don't have an MLS team. The team that we are located closest to is DC United.
But
I would call myself a DC United fan or supporter.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to.
A nice new stadium. So.
Okay. All right. That's cool.
That's what I'll do. Maybe I'll take you to a DC United game when the new stadium.
No.
To open your soccer experience.
No, I'm still waiting for that Capitals.
Yeah, that we do. That we should do. So really, we're
close
enough to. You're close enough to the district.
Yeah.
So more news on that later. There is a new update that just released last week for Xbox One insiders that has some new beta features that they get to. Actually, it has to be alpha features rather at this point. So the new features that Xbox insiders have to check out now on their dashboards, they have the next achievements feature, which shows them the next couple of achievements that they're closest to fulfilling. They're going to have mini game hubs from the guide, which will show you. I mean, it's probably the same thing PlayStation does, where it has quick links to like DLC for that game and others. Your friends are playing it, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
They're adding a do not disturb feature. which PlayStation's had for a little while. They are adding a.
I mean, the do not disturb feature. Like you can just turn your thing to offline, right? Appear offline.
Well, maybe do not disturb is specifically for, hey, I'm online, but leave me alone. maybe it's the more aggressive, the more aggressive of the features. Apparently we're tweaking the community feed to make it easier to view comments. Okay. They're adding additional inactivity shutdown options, because right now you can automatically shut down the console with no activity for 1 or 6 hours, but now there'll be options for 2, 3, 4, and 5 hours as well. That's in a bullet point, guys. And then you can also switch between light and dark themes based on the time of day on your Xbox One.
Wait, what?
Yeah, so like you'll even switch between light and dark themes. So like during the daytime, you have a light theme when it's nice and bright, and in the nighttime it'll be dark.
Why wouldn't you just keep it a dark theme? Or keep it a light theme? Who cares? God damn it.
So that's the exciting features that Xbox insiders have too.
I hate change for change's sake, man.
I mean, like
the next achievement progress thing, all right, that's kind of cool, but everything else I don't really need. Maybe the mini game hubs thing, but everything else is just dumb to me. I don't know. I'm sure some Xbox fan is doing a video game podcast right now, and they are elated. And I'm not like a not an Xbox fan. I just this generation, man, they just suck. They suck ass.
I'm not gonna refute any of that. To me, it all sounds. So PUBG caused a bit of a splash last week because they sent out some patch notes where they are displaying the loot drop rates for their games. Now, this probably coincides with the fact that they just moved the game into the Chinese marketplace, which requires publishing of these rates. But like I said, this is what people asked for, so here we go. It looks like the rarest items, including the sleeveless biker jacket in brown, the sleeveless biker jacket in black, and the cloth mask checkered, all carry a 1 in 10,000 chance to pull out of a loot box. And you're limited to 6 loot crates per week, by the way, Micah, so it could take you more than 4,100 weeks to open that many crates. According to Ars Technica, that's about 80 human years. So it might take you a while to get the old cloth mask checkered.
I get like wanting to pimp out your character and stuff like that, right? With some super rare item, like because you feel like, wow, like this is fucking awesome. My character is gonna look like a badass wearing a cloth mask. Like I don't mind the fact that these are rare items. I mind the items. A jacket, like
sleeveless biker jacket brown, Micah, and sleeveless biker jacket black. Do not sell these short.
Like if these are like the holy grail of what you can make your avatar look like, what are they wearing now?
Just naked. They're all naked. They're wearing like Tobias Funke, like basically. That's it.
Like, why can't I look like this picture of R. Kelly at the top of this article? R. Kelly wearing a black hoodie or whatever this is. Like, that looks kind of cool. I can't imagine like looking any cooler than that in a brown sleeveless jacket.
And a checkered mask. Don't forget.
A checkered mask. Like, no, I don't need patterns on my bandanas. Get out of here, man. No, this is all right. Hey, it is what it is, man.
Congratulations, PUBGers.
I've never played PUBG. I got a feeling the game is incredibly overrated.
I don't know if it's up your alley, honestly.
Yeah, good.
Steam's there's a report release from Steam Spy. This is a third-party site that data mines information from Steam, basically, and cobbles together stuff. So last year, according to Steam Spy, Steam had 7,672 games platform, which is an average of 21 new game releases per day in 2017. That's too many games, guys. That is up from 4,207 games released in 2016, which was up from 2,964 games released in 2015. So basically, in 2 years' time, the annual number of games released on Steam has tripled.
That's a bit much.
It is a bit much.
Like indie games, right? Like that's all this is, right? Like just a bunch of people. And look, that's great, right? Like there's a you make a game, you're an independent developer, you make a game, you have a platform that you could put your game on. Hope somebody finds it.
I mean, I feel bad for anyone who has a legit game that they're putting out on there that's buried in all.
Yeah. But wow, that is a lot of games.
It's turning into the fucking app store is what it's turning into, where like 1% of the games account for like 99.7% of the revenue. Yeah. And then the other 99% of the games account for the other 0.3% of the pie.
Yeah. Wow, man.
That's not a good thing. Get your shit together, Steam.
Like how would you even know about, like if I had a game and it didn't break, have a breakthrough, like how would I even get somebody to search for it? Hey, I got a game.
I don't know, because apparently if you watch like the Gymquisition, you'd believe that half those games were just like straight asset flips anyway. Someone buys like an Unreal toolkit and just fucking makes the game using all the assets in the toolkit and just puts out this piece on Steam, and there you go. Bob's your uncle, as they say over across the pond.
Yeah, it's too much, man. I think Steam needs to this is what Republicans fear the most. Is just letting any old game into our country.
Republicans love this. It's a free market. A free market for just pour a bunch of bullshit into.
But what are these games bringing to the platform? Like
nothing but a statistic.
These games we need to bring these Steam games onto Steam using a merit-based system. And we can't allow games from certain countries to enter into our platform. Make Steam great again, guys.
What you did there.
And I only weigh 199 pounds. Fuck you.
You solid show title contender, by the way. We'll see if it sticks around. Another story that I will just be so fabulously snarky about, you can't even imagine. Pokemon Go is not going to be supporting older iPhones and iPads, Micah. So starting on February 28th, if you have an iPhone 5 or 5C, or if you have a 4th generation iPad, which only released back in 2012 or older, you're not going to be able to play Pokemon Go anymore. Man, I thought that Apple was the system that didn't have fragmentation across their user base. I thought that they just wanted to make a simple product and keep all of their users together. Shit.
Hey, look, I can't. Like, first of all, why are you still playing Pokemon Go? Like, nobody, like,
fair.
I mean, that fad is over with. Like, on to the next thing. And second of all, what are you still doing with an iPhone 5? Like, you're supposed to do what everyone else does, upgrade every other generation, every other iteration. So if you have a 5, you should have a 7 by now, because that 5 has been paid for at least a year.
So the older devices are being dropped to accommodate, quote, improvements to Pokemon Go that push the application beyond the capabilities of the operating system on these piece of shit devices.
That's the one thing about Apple. I have Apple devices, not because I'm particularly like a slave to Apple, but it was the first one that I got, so I just stuck with it. Same thing with my televisions. Like the Samsung was the first one I got, so I just stuck with it. Same thing with my cars. Until very recently, a Mitsubishi was like the first real new car I bought. So I was like, all right, I'll just buy another one. Fuck it, I like it. But Apple devices, when they die, like they fall off. Like there is a 2 year window where batteries will last you, and then on that 2 year and first day, the battery just goes to shit. That's how they get you, man. That's why you got to upgrade every 2 years. Don't be like that guy in that Samsung commercial standing in line at the Apple store. You know, not the black guy who was getting the phone, but the guy who's standing at the Apple store with that fucked up hairline that goes like this and then down and then this. It looks like someone's playing Tetris on his head. And they misplace the straight 4-block Tetris thing. Like, it's weird, man. Don't be that guy standing in line, man. Be like the cool guy and buy a Samsung phone. And I say that as I have an Apple phone right here.
Don't buy Samsung phones either.
Oh, what kind of phone do you have?
Pixel 2, baby. Stick with the Google.
Yeah, go from one major corporate conglomerate to another major corporate conglomerate.
Right. Absolutely. So in our final story in headlines, a little bit of a lighter note. And look, political story. It's got a video game tie-in. Very rare that we get one of these. But the president of the United States last week bragged about selling fighter jets to, quote, Normay. And the particular fighter jet in question doesn't actually exist in real life. Instead, it only exists in Call of Duty Advanced Warfare. As the president said in November, quote, in November, we started delivering the first F-52 and F-35 fighter jets. We have a total of 52, and they've delivered a number of them already a little ahead of schedule. Now, one could assume that he just saw the 52, which is the quantity of F-35s that were being shipped over to Normay, and just got the two confused and put that number in the fighter jet type. And that's a reasonable explanation. However, there is some question about whether this current president is actually literate. So in order for that to be the case, he would have to be able to read the words in the first place. So I would doubt that that's true. What I think probably happened is that his young son, Mr. Cyber, probably told him about these jets from Call of Duty Advanced Warfare. He thought, man, this is great. We have to start, selling these to our allies. We can make a ton of money. And therefore he thinks the F-52 is a real thing. That's just what I'm going with.
That's exactly what happened. He waddled his fat ass over while his son was in the West Wing playing Call of Duty, and was like, "Oh, what are you watching? Fox News? What is that? An F-52?" And like, he heard F-52 from Call of Duty and was like, "Wow, this is amazing. This is we need to be selling these things to Normay so that hopefully we can convince their white people to come over to our country, because we need more white people in the country."
Look, right? He's a very stable genius.
Yo, we're run by a moron, yo. And we're the laughing stock of the world. America is the laughing stock of the world. I never thought in my lifetime that I would like, people didn't like us, but they at least respected us. They don't even respect us anymore.
Call of Duty.
God damn it. F-52s. God damn it.
So that's it for headlines. Before we move on to top story.
Surprised you didn't think that the F-52s were a fucking Ford pickup. Like we gotta start something.
I'm waiting for Ford to adopt that, honestly, now. Marketing opportunity there. Go make sure you support the show by using our Amazon link, densepixels.com/Amazon, for anything you purchase off of Amazon, big or small. We get a small percentage of the sale when you do. It doesn't cost you anything extra. But we get some money that we use to pay for like hosting fees and equipment, things like that. So again, densepixels.com/Amazon. So when any of you intrepid souls buy Terrence a new laptop, make sure you use the densepixels.com/Amazon link to do that.
Yeah, get him a new laptop because his old laptop was trash anyway. Nintendo had a little mini Nintendo Direct this past week. And we won't necessarily go through everything, but I'll start talking about stuff and you tell me if you want to hear about it. First up, LeVar Ball is coming to Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle.
What? That's rude shit.
He looks like Donkey Kong to me, yo. He looks and acts like Donkey Kong to me. Yeah, man. Like, look, I'm gonna read this quote from David Soliani, creative director of Ubisoft Milan, and I want you to picture LeVar Ball in your mind.
My eyes are closed, and I'm thinking of the big baller brand.
All right
now. All right, let's do it.
Quote: he has big arms, so we wanted to use them extensively through the combat. He can also be very goofy, and that's why his presence in the game, along with the Rabbids, allowed us to present different kinds of humorous interactions in the storytelling. Can't you imagine his big old light-skinned Donkey Kong looking ass running all up and down, trying to catch a bunch of weird-looking rabbits?
You know what I'm thinking of? I'm thinking of the one episode of Monday Night Raw that he went on, and when he tried to like step to the Miz, that's exactly what he did.
That's exactly right. He was
started like waiting.
Like, come on, yo. Like this dude looks like a big ass monkey to me, man. So Donkey Kong is coming to.
I just want it stated for the record. Who said that? Not me.
Yes, the black guy said that the black guy looks like a monkey.
The black who said that, not Brad the white guy. Just needed stated clearly for the record. Entered in there.
He looks like it to me, man. So basically, Donkey Kong is coming to Mario plus Rabbids. Did you play that game? Do you have any interest in that game?
Like I have a minute interest in that game. Like if they released a demo, I could probably download the demo and be like, oh, okay, it's like XCOM for babies, and then like probably not play it again. But I kind of want to check it out just to see. Yeah,
I kind of want to play it, but I don't want to pay for it. So I'll never play it. Pokken Tournament DX is adding some DLC characters. One is Aegis Slash, a sword shield Pokemon, which is just... I mean, what are we doing with Pokemon? Like, Pokemon used to like resemble animals. Now we have
well, they're out of animals. There's like 8,000 of them, so they have to start going to, inanimate objects instead. Who's still playing Pokken Tournament? Like, it's not a competitive fighting game, is it?
I have no idea. This game is completely off my radar. I have no idea. And so they're adding the sword shield Pokemon. And it's a Pokemon, it's a sentient sword that has a shield that shoots like lasers and stuff at you, which is kind of weird. And Mimikyu is coming. Mimikyu is the Sackboy version of Pikachu, apparently. And I'm sure Pokemon fans are super excited for that. Ys 8 Ys 8 is coming to Nintendo Switch this summer. It's a anime style RPG. I've never played an Ys game, but someone would have to tell me if it's good. And I probably still wouldn't play it because one of the characters looks like she's about 5 years old and she's wearing something that a 5-year-old should not be wearing. So I don't want to buy that. Super Mario Odyssey is getting free DLC. It's good news. It's adding Luigi. Bad news. I mean, Luigi's just kind of being a butler. He's just kind of standing there telling Mario what to do. But the DLC is actually, I think, sounds kind of cool. It's called Balloon Hunt, and you go to one of the kingdoms, you talk to Luigi, and you get 30 seconds to hide a balloon anywhere in the world, and then that gets uploaded onto like some sort of competitive like leaderboard. And then there's another mode where you have to find a balloon that is hidden by someone else in the kingdom within 30 seconds. Some of those worlds are kind of big. I don't know how far you can get in 30 seconds, but I think that's kind of a cool like hide and seek idea for Mario.
And while you think that is very cool, the part of the update that I cared about was new outfits and photo mode filters, because that balloon thing did not look appealing at all. So.
Mario's outfits include sunshine shades, where he's wearing a shirt over top of his overalls and has some tacky sunglasses on. The musician outfit, where he has a maroon zoot suit and a fedora, similar to the Goodfellas outfit that he has, and the knight helmet and armor, which has kind of a, people are saying is kind of like has a Dark Souls feel to it. I like Knight Mario. Knight Mario looks kind of cool.
I can see that.
So, and then like you said, yeah, photo mode is pretty cool. Hyrule Warriors is coming to Switch. Since nobody played it on the Wii U, they said, hey, everybody's got a Switch now. Let's just put it over there. Hyrule Warriors was the Dynasty Warriors clone, basically. The new feature is that it's coming with some Breath of the Wild content, and I think this is the definitive version. So every piece of DLC that was in the game that nobody played, everybody has the potential to play now. You can even play like split screen on handheld mode, which I can't imagine that. Right. Oh, or maybe I'm thinking of another game, but I remember seeing, because I watched the direct before we started, and they were like, yeah, split screen. Yeah, here it is. Split screen photo mode, split screen mode on the handheld.
That doesn't sound appealing to me.
No, it does not. Payday 2 is coming to the Switch.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, I didn't
the new character with like an LED mask, so yay.
Yeah, okay. Kirby is getting some Kirby Star Allies turns enemies into friends. And you get new abilities for Kirby in this game. I've never been a Kirby fan. I never saw the appeal.
Nor have I. So we're too old, I think, for Kirby.
LeVar Ball Country Tropical Freeze heads to Nintendo Switch.
This I am very excited about.
Yeah.
Again, taking another game that nobody played because nobody had the system.
Yeah.
Put it on a platform people actually own. I can dig it.
Yeah, man. I'll play this game. Funky Kong's going to be in the game, and Funky Kong is way OP.
All right. It's like he's baby mode for the people that have trouble with the game. I'm just excited because I heard I actually the reviews of this game were stellar. And obviously, since I didn't own a Wii U and will never, I thought that it was one that I wasn't going to get a chance to play. But I love the Donkey Kong Country games, and look forward to playing this.
Yeah, I'm up for this. I'm up for LeVar and all of his family members to be in this game. The World Ends With You is returning to the Switch. I never played The World Ends With You, but
I started to and was like, nah, this isn't for me.
Ah,
So,
well, yeah, it doesn't seem like it would be for me either. But it has its fans, so congratulations, you get to play it again. Um, Mario Tennis Aces is coming, and I'm kind of excited for it. I'm very curious. I like arcade tennis games, and they're like easy to play, hard to master, and um, this one has a story mode for some strange reason, which
it
I'm
does. It has an RPG-ish story mode, which is cool because it gives a little single player versatility. I will probably end getting this. My wife is a huge tennis fan. I would prefer a Mario Golf game personally, but I'll take Mario Tennis. That's fine. I enjoyed the previous Mario Tennis releases.
I want a soccer game. Those are the only soccer games I play, like weird cartoony soccer games. But tennis is a strong number 2 for me. And Dark Souls Remaster is coming to the Switch for some reason. They're like,
All
see,
right then.
we got a game with guns, and we got a game with a guy holding a sword killing people. We're mature.
Yeah, fantastic. Well, that's. I know some people were excited about Dark Souls 1 coming to Switch. Yeah, like I said, it's a 6-year-old game, guys. I'm not jumping out of my chair for it, but good. Like I said, they should have stuff. So
Yeah, they should have stuff, even if
should.
it is, over a half a decade old. They should. They're coming. They're coming. Next up, workplace harassment charges jolts Quantic Dream. Quantic Dream is the company run by David Cage, who make games like Beyond Two Souls, Fahrenheit, or what's the American name for Fahrenheit? Indigo Prophecy. Indigo Prophecy.
Yes.
And the upcoming Detroit Become Human. But a few reports are coming in, mainly the main report published by Le Monde, a Parisian newspaper, and a couple of other media outlets co-signing it, saying that Quantic Dream is a hostile workplace rife with racist and sexist humor. The stories accuse David Cage and executive producer Guillaume de Fondemier of either tolerating or neglectingly or keeping their workplace basically like people don't feel comfortable there, and there's a certain type of humor that people feel aren't that doesn't need to be in the workplace. One image of David Cage's head photoshopped on a stripper's body was circulating, and one report said that Fondemier was forcing himself on people, and David Cage was also accused of making a racist comment to an employee. That's not good. The Fondemier flatly denies his allegations. He says, "This is absolutely false, and on no evening did any of this happen." Cage calls the allegations ridiculous, absurd, and grotesque. And then he did something that guilty people do.
Yeah, I noticed this too. This explanation just reminded me of I've got black friends.
Yeah.
That sort of thing.
Yeah, so he goes on and he's quoted as saying, "You want to talk about homophobia? I work with Ellen Page, who fights for LGBT rights. You want to talk about racism? I work with Jesse Williams, who fights for civil rights in the United States." That's not the argument you want to make when these type of accusations are being thrown at you. Like, that is the equivalent, like you said, of, "I'm not racist. I got a black friend right here." Like, that's not what you do. Look, it's a shame, and it is not something that anybody should condone.
Well, so in this instance, it does reek of like there's nothing like I don't think there's intent behind the behavior. I think that they just need to act like a professional
Yeah.
place, if that makes sense.
Yeah, my old job was like this. My old job was exactly like this. If they're reporting that, people use crude language and different types of humor, it was that kind of job that I used to work at. And it was, me, we all made racist jokes, we all made sexist jokes. Um, we did it within the privacies of our own offices. And even then I didn't like partake in too much sexism jokes. I'll joke about race all you want, but I don't like talking about women like that. Like that's not me. Um, but yeah, I understand, and I think part of it is just the culture. Like I don't know if that side of the world has been hit with this wave of righteousness that has hit this country. Um, but yeah, just be professional, man. Like this isn't a fucking boys club or a rugby club. Um,
I do have a bit of an issue with one thing that the article points out, that the Le Monde report talks about the controversy around that domestic violence scene from Detroit that's been seen before.
mm,
And that says that employees tried to warn Cage of the objectionable nature of the scene, but he ignored them. Look, you can find the content in there objectionable, but that's part of the art. And I'm not going to fault someone for veering into tough territory with that, because movies do that shit all the time, right? Like it's not like
Yeah.
it's just the medium that's different.
Yeah,
So
just because that guy has that scene in his game doesn't mean he goes home and beats his wife or whatever. You know what I mean? Like,
and like I said, you can be uncomfortable working on that scene too, and I get that. But again, like that's part that's you can't be afraid to shy away from difficult topics, especially
yeah,
for a game. If you're trying to tap into emotion from people, you might have some stuff that's a little a little beyond the pale, and I'm sure that part of the game is going to have a very like visceral reaction from a lot of people, as it should.
yeah, I think that is the intent. At the same time, like, don't stop being a dick. Like, just don't like, just be professional. Be professional, man. Like, I don't know if this is. I am more than willing to give the accusers the benefit of the doubt as always. Just be professional. Like, none of the. You will never, ever, ever, ever hear anybody complain about me sexually harassing them or anything like that, because I'm an adult. I'm a grown up. I know how to act in public, and apparently these people don't. Like I don't know. I don't know. Just grow up. Some good news. The suspect in the swatting incident that led to the shooting death of a Wichita, Kansas man has been charged with involuntary manslaughter. Tyler Barris was booked by Sedgwick County Police on Thursday after being extradited from California. He was charged with involuntary manslaughter, giving false alarm, and interference with a law enforcement officer. He is being held on he is being held on $500,000 bail. The definition of involuntary manslaughter, according to Kansas, is the killing of a human being as a result of reckless behavior or in the commission of an unlawful act. Barris could face a maximum fine of $300,000 and 3 years in prison.
Who reported that fact, Micah? What notable gaming publication first report?
The video game wing of Rolling Stone reported that.
Whose name we cannot bring ourselves to say because we would have made up language.
It sounds too close to a bad Adam Sandler movie, but I repeat myself. Yeah, this is
three is it's unfortunate that 3 years is the maximum allowable sentence for this crime.
Yeah. this guy is the direct result. Like his actions led to the murder of someone, like directly, and you know, it's not a slap on the wrist, but it feels like a slap on the wrist.
We'll see. We'll see what if he's A, actually convicted, which one would hope, and then B, what he's actually sentenced to.
Yeah.
And look, again, I still want everyone else involved in this to be held responsible as well. So.
Yeah, the officer that shot him needs to undergo some sort of something needs to happen to that guy, because the victim was unarmed, and like whatever happened to
how about the guy who brought on the SWAT in the first place, and the guy who contacted
exactly
this Tyler Barris fellow?
So it's just a sad story all around, man. And I hope that family gets a little bit of justice in this, but I don't know. I would kill a man personally. Fuck you, Tyler. Next up, a report. Twitch signs a 2-year deal with the Overwatch League worth at least $90 million. It's a 2-year deal to have its matches streamed on Twitch. Is this something you would watch?
I don't like Overwatch that much to really pay attention to the Overwatch League. I've seen competitive Overwatch on Twitch before, and it's okay. I mean, like the mode that works the best, I think, is the where you're trying to move the payload, because the action centers around like one point on the map. Doesn't work. I guess the regular objective based mode kind of works in that regard too. It's just not as fun. Like watching FPS is fun for me. Like I'd rather be playing Overwatch.
Yeah, like it's watching an FPS. Like if there was some way that a game was built from the ground up with esports, televised esports in mind, and you can get like an overview of the map so that you can see different positions and how different players are interacting. Like I don't know, but just watching a screen go from one first person view to another first person view to all on the same map, like unless you know unless those maps are radically different, or the map by heart, like I feel like you got to be a hardcore fan of these games to watch them be played professionally. Whereas
now the $90 million is pretty good chunk of change.
Yeah.
I'm curious something. Let me see how much broadcast rights are for Major League Baseball.
Huh. If it's anywhere near the $90 million for this.
It's not.
Okay.
It's not.
All right.
So ESPN has the national MLB contract, because they do like Sunday night baseball and Wednesday night baseball. They probably do a few of the games during the week. They're paying an average of $700 million per year. Wow. Major League Baseball for that. How about this though? Let's see. Premier. I feel like the Premier League might be close in America at least.
$700 million. And baseball on TV sucks, so that's a lot of money.
Let's see here. NBC retains the rights. How much are they paying? Okay, so they are. So the NBC is paying the Premier League, about, let's see, 6 years. Let's see, about I can't do math right now. Like $180 million a year. So half of that, basically.
Half of that, yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's actually, yeah, wow.
I wonder if this does well, if you'll see those rights contracts skyrocket quickly.
Do you think it'll do well? I mean, it's
tough to say. That's tough to say. I don't know. Like esports is one of those things that, even though I've been getting more and more into watching esports over the past year, probably, I still feel so like not a part of that scene to not be able to comment on it intelligently. That makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, I have no clue. I probably won't watch this just because I like Overwatch fine enough, but it doesn't. I don't care enough about it to see what these people are, how these people are playing. You know what I mean? And I need and when it's something that I don't care about, I need a story. You know what I mean? Like the Winter Olympics are coming up. I don't care about the Winter Olympics. I'm black. I don't like the cold. Right? I'm genetically predisposed to not liking cold, and unless there's like a cool like story to come along with it, I wouldn't pay attention to the biathlon. You know,
No one really pays attention to the biathlon.
hey,
Unless you're competing in the biathlon, then you might pay attention.
unless you're a spy, and then it's like, wait a minute. More Overwatch League talk. So, no Overwatch League team signed the game's most notable female pro to their
Or
roster.
any female player.
Yo, this is okay. Kim Se-young, a top-level Zarya player who overcame a rash of cheating accusations and threats in 2016, was on the tip of everyone's tongues, but was nowhere to be found. Kim Se-young became a big name in the Overwatch scene when she was just 17 after she was bombarded with cheating accusations and death threats over her masterful play of Zarya. Her response to the cheating accusations, she hosted a live stream in which she showed the game footage and her hands on the keyboard and mouse to prove, in fact, that she's just fucking better than you. And she went on to become the first woman ever to play for a team in South Korea's then premier Apex League. But no team in this Overwatch League has signed her, or like you said, any woman. They give a bunch of random bullshit excuses. One of which is
excuses were the part that I hated the most, because it is like, if you'd been like, hey, like no female gamers got signed to this league, can you predict some of the excuses that the teams will give? I could have accurately predicted all of these, basically.
Yeah. So the one of the major excuses was, well, there's a language barrier and we don't know if we'll be able to communicate with her. No, that's stupid. Another one was, well, we are a fully formed team. We don't know if having the best player in the world, the best female player in the world, come to our team would if she would gel with us. When we were constructing the roster, we were looking for a team that had experience playing together at its core. Like, that was the main one. The second one was that, well, she speaks Korean, she's Korean, and we don't have any Korean people on our team. But then there are some teams that are all Korean, and they still wouldn't entertain the thought of her coming on. That's when they use the old, well, we already kind of got people that we like to work with, and we don't. It's nonsense, is what it is.
Yeah, I just wish people would. I mean, maybe this is honesty, but it's not a very. It doesn't sound like a good excuse.
It really doesn't. Like, all right, maybe I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. Like, all right, well, we want a team that a bunch of people that we've known that play together, but they were citing chemistry. Like, we don't know if she'd be a good fit. Like, that sounds like nonsense, man. Like, I don't know. I'm just on the outside looking in. It sounds like nonsense.
Like some of the people have said that basically, oh, she's easy, keep working harder. I'm like,
yo, fuck you, yo. She's
right. Like, where have I heard this shit before? Work twice as hard, half as much.
Right. Like, come on, man. There's an awful lot of mansplaining going on in these excuses, man. And You say, well, you got to go through hurdles. Like if you pick up a player, is the press going to call it a PR stunt, or is it because she's the best? It's because she's the best, Joe.
That's just excuses, oh, well, if we get her, like people think we just got her just to, make a splash of the meat. I'm just like,
who the fuck doesn't want good press? Who doesn't want good press?
Right. But like it's as if they're like, oh, we're protecting her because people are going to shit on her if we pick her up. I'm just like,
get out of here with that nonsense.
Really? I'm like, could you tilt any harder at that window? Because man, oh man,
this shit is nonsense, man. I hope. And what's gonna end up happening is what always happens in the situation where minorities are shut out of something. They're gonna have to make their own, and then when they make their own, then everyone's gonna have a fucking problem with that. And it's a vicious cycle that doesn't need to exist, because all that has to be done is treating women and minorities like equals, man. Like I don't know, man. I don't know. The all Korean teams that won't accept the best Korean player in the world is what
well, I mean, they're
really
not
scratches my head.
They're not saying she's the best Korean player in the world. She's the best.
She's incredibly talented. One of the top female players ever in the existence of this game, from what I understand. But
it's just like I said, like how many teams are in this league? I can't remember. It's quite a few though, and it's like you can't find one team that's
and it's hard not to
benefit from her from the character she likes to use.
Yeah, and like I bet not see like no one better use Zariah in any of these fucking teams.
Right. So it's just annoying. Like I said, you would think that if one industry could sidestep this particular problem in a sports realm, and I know eSports sports are not necessarily the same thing, but you would think that video games could be like, yeah, female gamers, not a problem.
Right. Every other sport is segregated by genre or by gender. This one doesn't have to be. But it seems like it's hard not to sound like a crazy conspiracy theorist. But
you don't sound like conspiracy theorist. You sound you're a cynic about it, which deservedly so. Like I said, I can't. It seems lame. It just seems like a lame bunch of excuses.
Right. Like they're all putting their sign out saying no girls allowed, with the R spelled backwards.
Gurls.
Right. Right. God damn it. Anyway, that's it for top stories. Question of the week. Last week, the teams involved in the Overwatch League were introduced to the world, and none of them included any female representation. The reasons offered by many of these teams were unsurprising, citing anywhere from cultural/language differences to wanting to keep established teams together. What are your thoughts on this news? Does the lack of gender diversity in the Overwatch League have any bearing on your desire to watch or care about the Overwatch League or any other hypothetical esports league if you aren't passionate about Overwatch? Stuart says, I care just as little about esports watching as I ever did before. Amir says, this may sound bad, but it doesn't do anything for me. If she's the best player, then she should definitely be on a team. But if I do watch, it's to watch the game, not the people. Trey says, my thoughts are same bullshit. My thoughts are same bullshit, different day. I had no plans to watch as I don't find the game or most first-person shooter games interesting at all. I'd love to see more women in the fighting game community, but that community needs a deep scrubbing of the racist misogynists to be taken halfway seriously. He's right, Anthony says,
there are at least some women, though, in the FGC.
There are a couple, yeah. There are a couple.
At high levels.
Yeah. But for the most part, yeah, it is they they do, I guess, they put on a good face. You know what I mean? The fighting game community puts on a good face
Mhm.
where they are usually the high level people aren't like the high level people are like they're fine. You know, they're like, hey, come on over. But then you get the dregs and the pools, you know what I mean? And they are the bastards. Anthony says, "Well, this is really about ethics and esports journalism, and and frankly, you even mentioning the lack of gender diversity is very sexist of you." Mark says, It doesn't have any bearing on whether or not I want to watch any kind of esport. There's a goddamn oxymoron if there ever was one. But maybe they should just put together an all-female team to take everyone down. That being said, if I was on a team and someone was pulling the rest of us down, fuck that guy. I want the best players I can have, male or female, and fucker is getting in the way of my money. Ed says, I wonder if her girly hands could handle the domineering force of keystrokes, or if her woman brain could see the high flying action on the screen. Also, it's not like she is one of the best Overwatch players, right? This shit is funny. He comes back and says, I stand corrected. She must be a cheater. Carrie says, I had interest in Overwatch League until I saw the responses to people investigating why there were no women hired in the league. It all boiled down to, yeah, wow, it sucks that women have to work so much harder to get where men are, but it's not like we're going to actually do anything about it. So fuck them. I'm not watching any of it until there's at least one team with a woman in a regular lineup, given that most of the teams are not at their player cap of 12. There's literally no good reason why Kim, one of the best players in the world, should not be on one of those teams. It's
Yo, if
literally,
that shit is true, get the fuck out of here.
yeah, if that's the case, like, come on, yo. Like, you can't hire a mercenary? Like, and a good one? Uh, there's literally nothing about video games that give any kind of inherent male advantage. that esports has that esports has been so limited to male competitors is due to shitty culture, not because women aren't actually good enough. Dustin says she may be the best female player, but does that make her one of the best in the world? Like, I am all about equality and all that, but that's like saying there are no women in the NFL, MLB, NBA, or NHL. I guarantee that if she was one of the best players, she would have been on a pro team. It's in the best interest of the general manager to make the best team they can. Plus, watching people play video games is so boring. Why do people even want to do it?
I don't know. Why did Amazon pay $1 billion to acquire Twitch?
Yeah.
Money in it somewhere. As it's hard to quantify if she's one of the best players in the world. It is tough to quantify that. And also, too, I don't know, like, does she solo queue? Does she have a regular team that she plays with? Like, because obviously, like, someone could be a really good solo queue player, but not work well in a team dynamic. That is certainly possible. Certainly possible. But like I said, if the pros are like, yeah, she should be here, but she's not, then one would think that she
right
be there.
That's the crux of the issue. Like, I understand Dustin's argument. Like, he's like, I get it, but at the same time, like, all the evidence points to her being incredible, to the point where she had to prove that she wasn't cheating. She's just good. And like you said, that the pros are like, yeah, wow, it'd be really awesome. She would be a boon to have on a team, just not our team. Like, that logic doesn't make sense. Daniel says, I know Counter-Strike Go had their own women's league. Maybe that's something other esports should do. I don't know how divided these skills are compared to physical sports. Yeah, like Carrie said earlier, I don't think that women and their women brains are any different than men and their man brains when it comes to this. The only physical thing you have to do is, move fingers and have stamina. And some of those kids don't even have stamina. They're sucking down Monster Energy drinks and fucking Red Bull like it's water. Mark says, after talking to a friend that follows Overwatch top tier play a lot, Kim Giguri is a top tier player by far. However, she is not generally considered better than any currently restored player. Maybe that's rostered player. She also has some large weaknesses on hero variety that hurt her on some maps in top level play. There are other males better than her, and some current players playing that were passed over because of language issues. Now, based on this information, I have no issues with it. In general, most female gamers I know generally are not competitive about it. Not saying that can't be, but with fewer women wanting to be competitive about it, it's natural that fewer stars will come of it. If what Mark says is true about, Giguri having serious weaknesses, look, I don't know. I believe you. I'll take you at your word. But again, those, like, why isn't that used as an excuse for not having her on your specific team? You don't want to be insulting, right? But and say, well, she's got weaknesses, but you don't want to bring her on your team, which is again insulting the way you frame her as this really good player. So, which is it? I don't know. Terrell says, what is the marketing towards female players? I honestly think that if they were trying, that we could see more female teams in the future.
That for this game, I'm not buying that excuse, considering that half the roster in the game is female.
Mm-hmm.
So
Jake says it's not about being the best player; it's about being the best team player. And if she was then someone would. If she was that, someone would.
If she was, then no doubt.
Oh, okay, yeah, commas, man. Like y'all fucking me up. If she was, then someone would no doubt grab her up. She doesn't fit someone's bill, despite clearly having enough exposure. Not good enough doesn't mean sexist. And Malcolm says lack of gender diversity and racial diversity, and a gorilla named Winston. Yeah, I got nothing. Apologies, guys. But what about that Street Fighter V AE though, with Abe Lincoln? This was I enjoyed this question, and I enjoyed the response.
There's 2 more responses, by the way.
Oh,
I'll read them. I have them in front of me. So please. Michael says, this is my first time commenting, first time, long time. Thank you, Michael, on a question, but just wanted to reemphasize some things I said in response to one comment. I'd be 100% okay with them leaving her off if they had said they felt she didn't match the level of competition and skill, or her personality didn't mesh well with other players after they gave her a shot at trying out for their teams. But there doesn't seem to be any indication that anyone did give her a serious shot. If so, then I will agree that she doesn't need to be on there if they felt truly that she wasn't a good enough player. But it seems like from the answers given by the team representatives that they thought never occurred to them to actually give her a chance. If this is the case, hopefully people will be a little more thoughtful about how they build their teams and make sure to consider people from all types of backgrounds. Until then, they should expect to get this type of blowback from their decisions. Hopefully they care enough to address it properly. And then Evan wraps it up by saying, why not sign her? It would bring more positivity to the new league and get people interested in it, plus promote gaming among young female gamers, being able to see that there are females in the top tier of a sport. But this league is run by egotistical men who only think that females can do is give interviews to awkward gamers. And I think that point's a salient one. Like, think of the message it sends, like, hey, we have this woman who's great at this game and she's awesome. You should check it out too, even if you're not akin to Overwatch, that sort of thing. Yeah. Because all not having diversity does is shuts other people out from getting into it.
Yeah. And, the people who run this league don't care about diversity. They care about bottom line, and that's dollars. And they want eyes to see it, because that's the more eyes that see it, the more, potential revenue you can make. This question was good. The responses were better because I feel like we had a very wide variety of reasonable responses and different points of view,
and nuance too, which is weird.
Yeah.
I mean, we got this stuff from the internet.
Well, the people.
I was a little uncomfortable with the amount of nuance in the conversation. I got to tell you,
the people that listen to this show are incredibly smart, as we make racist black man look like monkey jokes. Yeah,
I did not.
I really enjoyed this question. I enjoyed all the responses. And I see, a couple of these responses got me thinking about thinking in a different way about it. And I don't know what the answer is, to be quite honest with you.
That's the hallmark of a great discussion topic. There is no real answer, Micah.
Yeah. So there you go.
Good. Well, you guys did a good job. Like I said, you all did a terrific job this week with the question of the week. I figured this would get some thoughtful responses.
Yeah,
which is so. That is the show this week. Make sure if you are not part of our fan group, you go to densepixels.com/fans. Quite the community we are building over there. It's a good time. Leave us a 5-star review, just like Adam did. We will read it on the air, just like we did today. Make sure you follow us on Facebook and Twitter at DensePixels. Subscribe to the podcast on iTunes, Google Play Music, Spotify, or any other podcatcher that you use. And we have a DensePixels Twitch channel. Check that out there if you are one that uses Twitch TV. We all also have our own individual channels. I am DensePixels Brad. Terrence is Apparition410. Micah is Dense Black Nerd. And Carrie is Sup It's Carrie. So that is it for us this week. We will catch you guys next week. Till then, see ya.
See ya.